A major question for the Minnesota Vikings this offseason is what's going to happen at the center position. Will they re-sign Garrett Bradbury, the Grim Reacher, the 2019 first-round pick, who had his fifth-year option declined, but had a breakout season in 2022? Although his first 3 years, he set the bar very low to call it a breakout. But either way, Bradbury had himself a good season, is in line to get paid in free agency, whether it's here or somewhere else, but we'll see. So Darren Wolfson was asked about this on Score North, and this is what he said about Bradbury, and he very casually mentioned another top-tier free agent center where there's mutual interest. This is what he said, quote, "Now there is interest in re-signing Garrett Bradbury, but if they fail on that front, the other good center is Connor McGovern. There's a mutual interest there. He's a Midwestern guy. That would be a name to keep an eye on if the Bradbury negotiations go south." So I love how Doogie just casually slipped in there. I was like, yeah, mutual interest between Connor McGovern and the Vikings. And with the combine this week, with decision makers and agents all in one place, this is where the NFL offseason really starts getting going. And Connor McGovern is super interesting, where I think that he is a very viable free agency option, depending on cost. And I think that he could be a decent starting center for the Vikings for the next 2 or 3, 4 seasons. And also what's super confusing, so there's 2 Connor McGoverns. All right, and one Connor McGovern played at Penn State, was a third-round pick by the Cowboys, and the Connor McGovern with the Jets that Doogie's talking about was a 2016 fifth-round pick by the Broncos who played his college ball at Mizzou. Now, I understand that Connor is a very common Irish name, and McGovern is a very common last name. So, I mean, it's not like these guys are named Joe Smith, but the fact that both of them turn into very good starting interior offensive linemen in the NFL, it's kind of crazy, man. Kind of crazy. But let's talk about the Jets' Connor McGovern today. Background, 29 years old, turns 30 in April, 6'4", 306, originally from Fargo, North Dakota, took his talents down to Mizzou. Was a physical freak. Look at that RAS, 9.87. But, of course, it's sort of Bradbury-ish, isn't it? We're undersized, weight 306, but amazing in the speed, explosiveness, and agility. There you go. Was a fifth-round pick by the Broncos 2016. Played out his rookie deal for them. Eventually became their starting center the final year of his rookie contract. Then in 2020 signed a 3-year, $27 million deal with the Jets as their starting center. Last year, 2022, posted a 69.5 PFF pass blocking grade, 24 pressures, and was dinged with 5 sacks. For comparison, Bradbury was 29-2, but the Jets' offense was god-awful. It was abysmal, and pass blocking for Zach Wilson, who has no pocket presence, Mike White, super sus as well, and Flacco's 97,000 years old. Plus, the Jets had very suspect guard play after Elijah Vera Tucker got injured. So, I mean, part of it is on McGovern, part of it is on the guard play, part of it is on the offense just being garbage. It's tough, but he still has good movement skills. He's got a good punch. He plays with leverage, and would still be a better option than Bradbury at this stage, in my opinion. And Spot Rack does estimate his free agent contract at $12.5 million per season, so it is a pretty penny. Of course, the Vikings are $24.4 million over the salary cap, but, of course, cap is a mouth. And the Vikings are, well, before March 15th, they have to make several moves to get underneath the salary cap, and they can make a lot of easy ones, parting ways with veteran contracts, restructuring some deals. They can certainly free up that cap space. Now, you know, like I said, McGovern had sort of a down season this year, had a much better season in 2021, but he is sort of an older, upgraded Garrett Bradbury. Now, older not the sense that he's, you know, not like J.C. Treader last offseason. I mean, he is going to turn 30 for the next season, but the center position, centers generally can play into their mid-30s at a high level, so I'm not overly concerned about that. And he is like an older, upgraded Bradbury, where zone center, slightly better anchor, better track record of high level of play. So overall, I would not be mad if this is how it went down. Now, I'm still in the Ethan Poch's camp, no matter what. Loved him kind of coming out of LSU. Loved him with the Seahawks. Loved him before he signed with the Browns. Now I'm in on him. I mean, Posich had a better season than McGovern last year, and he's younger and he's projected to be cheaper. But other than that, I mean, what does he have going on? But it is super interesting that Doogie would just slide that in and say that there is mutual interest between the Vikings and McGovern. And Doogie obviously wouldn't run with this if he didn't have confirmation from both sides, an inside source with the Vikings, as well as something from the McGovern camp. So That's something to keep an eye on. But also, maybe we buried the lead that the Vikings are interested in re-signing Bradbury. And I would be fine if they bring back Bradbury, but not breaking the bank. Like, maybe like a 2-year, $16 million total deal. Maybe. Like, if we're talking about $10 million plus per season for Bradbury, let him walk, get that comp pick, and then go after it. So McGovern is a name to keep your eye on as the Vikings head closer to free agency. But your thoughts are thoughts. Darren Doogie Wolfson reporting that the Vikings and Connor McGovern, center for the Jets, have mutual interest. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.